Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming into another video. Alright, so I'm walking down the street, walking past a furnished studio apartment now, leasing month to month spot. I already took a picture of the number on there, and I'll give them a call a little later. But you know, we're just trying to approach the 10-day mark with intentions of already being gone by the time the sheriffs get there. So, you know, I was speaking to my sister once again today. She was so very comforting, so very warm. She's very concerned, right? So I just wanted her not to worry, and she really helped me feel better about that. That's what I'm most important to me, is that I'm not worrying our loved ones, man. I got a family that loves each other, and they don't need to be worried about their brother, you feel me? And so that's what's most regrettable about letting my situation get so bad, is that now the family, they are concerned, they want to step in and they want to do things, they want to put themselves in a position to help. And I love it. I love them, but it's the worry that I put upon their heart that bothers me, or the potential of worry, for which I don't know if it's real, you know what I mean? I don't know, but I'm always cognizant of what my burden may be to others. So much love to my family. I keep telling y'all they're great people. Please be kind when you meet a Deloney or Fulmer or Palais or all of my family, you know, all of the people, great people. So yeah, that's where I'm at, man. More or less in this situation, just walking down the street. I've been walking now for about 25, maybe, I gotta add on a little more time, maybe about 30 minutes or so. Just trying to get my mind right. I speaking to my friend this morning, Tendai. My guy was telling me all kinds of stuff that I'm gonna take with me, just about structuring my thoughts, making sure that I have a plan for my day in the morning, structuring out time the day before to plan for the next day. These are things that I really struggle with deeply. I'm more, as you guys can very well tell, a spur of the moment kind of guy as it pertains to all of my channel stuff. Playlists, when I feel like making them, I just make them. You know, all of the art, when I feel anxious, I just make it. So at this point, when I look at myself, I see myself as somebody who is capable of doing this from anywhere and just needs to build the brand. So for me, that's what I intend to do, is to build the brand, put my name out there, not really worry too much about being as invisible as I allowed myself to be on this channel in the past. You know, put more bells and whistles on it, make sure that everybody gets to understand what it is I'm doing here. So that's gonna be something that I'm gonna do one way or another, however this plays out. But for the time being, I think for me, it's just about finding the clarity of mind to be out and about every day again. It's a walk outside consistently, not just one day, 2 days, but like every day. Even if I got to schedule it like I work out, you know, every day. And just let the chips fall where they may, because at the end of the day, what I often find myself afraid of is stuff that really is still going to be there whether you're cooped up in the house or not. You know, it's always types of things that can happen in life, so you have a better chance of surveying your land and discovering what's outside and becoming friends with people in your neighborhood than you would being cooped up with not knowing anyone at all. And so that's really the situation. You know, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're being normal, thinking it's okay to be in the house all the time, thinking, and finding yourself in a situation where you don't necessarily even realize that you have people around you that can maybe point you in the right direction for whatever your circumstance is. It don't have to even get that bad. Somebody could just, hey, I know somebody who knows somebody. And those are the things I wasn't allowing myself to even be a part of, because I would stray so far away from what made any sense at all for the betterment of my own temperament. So I call it a temperament, but it's just my own stress levels and indicators of stress that allow me to feel as if I can't leave the house, or I can't put myself in a position to apply for something that may help, or even better, just communicate with some people so that they'll know what's going on, so that I can know what they got going on and maybe be a solution to them. All these things I just kept myself from having in my life, you know. I just kept that away because I was fearful of having to face anxieties and various different insecurities that I don't even believe hold much merit to my logic at all at this point. They're not attached to the person I am, they're attached to a person I was not happy with, who's no longer anymore. So I'm fortunate, man. I think the sad thing about all of this for me is just finally starting to get used to the neighborhood that I've been in for 8 years. I should have been doing this the whole time. That part is a little sad, I guess you can say, but you know, all in all, I'm ready to take this habit to maybe even a different place, you know. And look, it's a neighborhood, man. You know what I'm saying? It's nice over here. Yeah, they consider it the hood. It's Inglewood and all that. When you just look at the sunshine out here, it is something to see, man. It is a beautiful place to walk every day. And so if I am going to be somewhere where the weather isn't as nice or it just don't look like this or whatever, I'm glad I was able to capture this, not only for myself, but for my channel, so that we can have this moment, you know, have these moments going forward. Because even if things get a lot better, you still don't have this, you know what I mean? There's something to be said, and I'm not going to assume that I'm going to blow up or that I'm going to reach the greatest, highest peaks or whatever. But there's something to be said for just being able to walk down the street without nobody knowing who you are. You know what I mean? Not having people chasing you around, if you paparazzi and all that stuff. There's something to be said for just being able to go to the movies and stuff, you know? And so, that's what I wanted to just kind of appreciate on the day like this. I still have shelter. I'm gonna go home and lay my head in the bed tonight again, and I'm telling you, every single waking second of it, to me, is the best thing in the world now. When it's about to be taken from you, when you know that 2 weeks from now, not even 11 days from now, you're gonna have to lay your head in something not as comfortable, not as exclusive to you, potentially. Most definitely looks like it's gonna be that way. And regardless of what I'm conditioned for or why that's the case, I just find myself thinking, you know what? Praise God for what it is today. If I gotta live without it tomorrow, then why not appreciate it today? So that's how I'm taking on this opportunity right now to walk down the street, to finally realize that in my life. It took a long time for me to just be able to appreciate things that I've taken for granted, like shelter, you know, a place to lay my head, clothes, being able to walk in a kitchen, put something together for myself. All that stuff I appreciate it, but because I hadn't lived without it, I didn't cherish it. And so now that I'm in this space once again, I get a chance to reflect on that lack of cherishing. And so that's what I'm hopeful can kind of stay with us on this channel, that we would have the moments and appreciation to cherish our times where we're at, even if those situations actually aren't favorable, but you just happen to get used to them. There may be some things that you have in those spaces that you can keep with you that's a positive to you. You can keep them things positive to you, because at the end of the day, they're there for you in your memory. You know, they're there for you if you capture it on your phone. So that's why I don't think that my opinion about whether or not people should take pictures and they don't want to, you know, that are maybe not as well appropriate for children and stuff like that, because you're gonna have that body only for a short period of time at that, looking that way. So if you want to capture it, I've seen so many people show me pictures of themselves when, you know, I remember working at this place called Park Place, and this lady used to be an actress. Now, of course, she was older now. She was probably about 87, 88 years old. But she showed me pictures of herself, and she was very proud of how she was back in the 20s and 30s. You know what I mean? The 40s or whatever the era was. And I look at her and I say, you don't regret taking none of that stuff. You don't regret any of that. Not to say she was overly promiscuous or anything like that, but it was just, you know, for the times. And she says, no, she don't regret it, because at the end of the day, you're gonna always find opportunities to reflect on when you looked your best, when you felt your best, and, you know, when you were most successful, when you were on top, or whatever the case may be, when you had your highest peak, when everything worked out for you. That's when it comes to a situation where you can look back and be very much appreciative. And so that's what I hope to be, very appreciative. And so that's what it is, man. I try to respect life now that I know things are changing in my life. I'm hopeful that the Lord will allow me to make the decisions necessary to choose the right path. I think these are the times in your life where you really literally choose a path. And I just want to be ready for this. You know, it's like if I'm going somewhere else far away, that's a path that's going to take me to all different types of avenues. If I got to stay here in LA, that's a path that's going to likely take me to all different types of avenues. If I try to go the shelter route, maybe I'm fighting to stay in the city. That's going to take me on a path. if I just fly, that's what I want everybody to give some prayer in regards to myself and people who are going through what I face with. When you're at that space where you just know that no matter what all the stuff that you've been used to is going to change really fast. You know what I mean? Pray for people like us, because we got to make the right decisions for our lives right now. We got to make sure that where we're going is going to be the best path, if we even have a choice to choose the best path. I may not, you may not. So the path we on got to be the path we love, and I hope that beyond the shadow of a doubt, the path you on is the one that you love, because at the end of the day, sometimes the path may not start in the right place, but you might be ending up going in the right direction anyway. Maybe you start at the top, but maybe it's leading you to a bad spot. So nobody knows what comes with what. But I encourage you to have faith in your life, so that you don't find yourself looking at your circumstances regretting your path. Because once you've made a step in one direction or another, there are very good things that can happen either direction, so long as you keep your energy in the right mindset and keep your heart on the higher power. I really believe that. You're going to be able to do good things with everything you choose. And he's going to be able to do some very difficult things as well, just the same. So it's not really a perfect science to this life thing. And we all know it's going to end at some point. So you can't be fearful of that part when trying to pick the best path. You do be mindful that the wrong path can definitely lead you towards some bad ways. But you definitely understand too that the path, the path that you believe in, that the higher power is leading to you toward, most definitely will allow for some positive things. Most definitely. Even if you got to go through a little bit of adversity, if your heart is in the right places, we always talk about, you can put yourself in a position to make it through the situation. You know what I mean? To get as much help as you need. My mother told me something I can share with you all. She said, your manners will get you places further than your money can. And you ain't got a dollar in your pocket. You respect people, they respect you, they remember that. They may be willing to do for you when you don't have nothing to give them back. And that is something that I believe in. Not to say that you will ever be in that situation for any reason, but just in case, remember what I said here. It's your manners, it's your respect, it's your humility, it's your acceptance, your lack of judgment, and all of those different things that will put you in a position to have the favor where you need it. Even if you didn't show it to those people, if you have the rhythm of that in your heart, just like I've been saying, what have you been doing leading up to things? If you have that in your heart, you will find yourself in a position to be able to have the type of energy that people do things for. This is what I know. This is what I've known my whole life. I'm not even saying it in regards to my life. I'm talking about my mom and all the love that she showed so many people. How many friendships she kept close. How many people she communicated that still reach out to me today. That still pray for me today. Not because they know me, but because they knew her. And that's why I take that example with me and I put it in a lot of these videos as of late. Because I want y'all to treat people right so people will treat your people right. I say it a lot, so that's what it's about, man. So I'm a living beneficiary of that energy. Living as hard of a way as I allow myself to live, it's been a lot of those energies that have come from my mom's friends and people's family, obviously, people she kept in touch with, that I could never bring myself to keep in touch with because of my mentality, because of my actions, the way that I am. Doesn't serve anything in regards to that. So I try to make up for it on this camera by displaying myself to everybody the right way, if I can, since I haven't done a good job of that in my life, keeping in touch. But, it's just like that, man. It's like that. When you really believe in God, He'll open up your heart to deal with these type of things during difficult times. Instead of thinking about all of it, what it could go wrong, or what He's not able to do. Focus on what it is He is willing to do for you, inside of you, in your situation, as it pertains to how you feel about it, how you're dealing with it, how much stronger you're getting because of it. That's what I'm trying to convey to everyone. I go to butterfly, man. I was always told butterflies provide some type of comfort as well. You know what I'm saying? Try to do a better job of capturing this one. But I don't know if that's a sign of any kind. But I take comfort anywhere where the Lord want to shine light on me. I'll take it. But you know what I mean? It's not just about comfort. It's not even that. It's about conditioning yourself so that you don't need it as much. Condition yourself so that you don't need whatever it is that you don't. You know? Rather than using the word comfort, for example. Maybe your indulgence is probably power or attention. Whatnot, you know? Whatever. Emirates, huh? One of the soccer team above me right here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but yeah, man. It's just little stuff I've been thinking a lot about, trying to show y'all something different too. So wherever I'm at, I'm definitely gonna be recording from there, if I'm able to. You know, who knows, right? But that's always gonna be my intention, is to keep a phone for sure in this era. And if that's the case, then I'm gonna want to upload some stuff. So yeah, man. I'm just babbling at this point. I don't want to turn off the camera. I'm enjoying myself. But I think today I came to the conclusion that it was a good idea to just walk a little bit before turning on the camera. You know what I mean? Instead of just turning on the camera and just babbling, let the spirit come to me and get a little air in my lungs before starting that process. And so that's what I did today. I've already been walking for much longer than this camera's been on, but that's what it's about, man. Just getting out here while I still have an opportunity to, and get used to being around people, so when it is time, it ain't gonna be that difficult to go from point A to point B or whatever. Because by then, I'd already had 9 walks down, you know, from there. And that's all I need to do, is remember how to be around people again, man. That's it. I need to remember how to want to be outside again. I spent way too much time letting myself not. Way too much time. And that's a lot scarier to me than anything else at this moment. It's just allowing myself to fall right back into that trap, and then convincing myself that there ain't nothing out here. I cannot see myself wanting to be that way anymore. Not in this life. So that's what it's about for me. If anybody sees me in the world, you know, that's what it's about, man. Because I have so many times in my life just not allowed myself to go anywhere. So many times, man. And it ain't even about this era. We ain't just talking about the last 8 years. We're talking about the whole life long. Whole life long. And so that's why I want to encourage everybody. Thank you for commenting. Everybody's been showing me support. I've been seeing comments of support. I know I'm being listened to. I don't feel alone. You know what I'm saying? I want to say something because it's on my mind. I don't know if I'm insecure about it or not. But at some point in time, one has to look at themselves in the mirror as they're being transparent and ask the world, am I being beta? Am I showing my emotions in such a way that would make it so that I'm food in the world that I'm in? And so for me, it's like, I don't believe myself to be that way. I just think that I have a certain different type of masculinity, so to speak, a certain different type of way to live that has helped me kind of manage my own situation. But at the end of the day, I was taught to be transparent, man. That's one of the reasons why I try to stay away from people, is because, to be honest with you, I like being free to tell the truth. I like being free to live in God's truth. And when you got people's different interests in heart, or they have different webs of their circumstance to which information can hurt them, if you speak it, it becomes a situation where you gotta keep in what's necessary for you, so that you can ultimately keep what's necessary for them away from y'all, or whoever you're speaking to in your case. I think in my mind, isolation has also helped me kind of stay out of those circumstances to where my mouth get anybody in trouble, or my truth can ultimately get anybody in trouble. You know what I mean? And I'm cognizant of that, being from Los Angeles, and have kept away from people in certain instances with that in mind. And so going back out into the world, I tell you, when I retreated into the house, it wasn't a very simple decision, as I've told you guys. It was multi-layered. Many, many, many reasons why I retreated the various times that I did. Sometimes it was insecurity, other times it was this mortal fear, trauma that I might have went through, just a desire to be by myself so I could talk to myself without being judged by it. All these different reasons, trying to preserve the finances of my circumstances, the shares, obviously. All of it was just so very complicated when I look back on it. And it's led to the worst possible outcome. And you just have to wonder, what is it that ultimately made you make that decision in the first place? You know, and it was multi-layered. There was so many reasons why I did it, but none more so, I don't believe, than just being comfortable doing it, which is why I put so much emphasis on the conditioning of one's mind and what you allow yourself to get used to. Let your young people and kids understand that they're starting the process of a path that will tumble forward. So whatever it is that they're doing right now, especially if it's negative, or especially if it's bad conditioning, they're gonna wanna do it later, and it's gonna be harder not to do. And so that's why I wanna instill everybody to talk to their kids. I don't care what walk of life you're in. Let the young people know that the best habits I have started because I started them when I was in my 20s. I kid you not. The best habits that I have in working out and all that, that started back then, and that's why I have it right now. And so I want y'all to start that. You probably already do in some cases, but whatever you have to do to make yourself your best, try to do it early. Try to start as early in life as humanly possible. You know, skip over some of the stuff that's going to have you having habits that tear your body apart. You know, a lot of us like to drink, a lot of us like to smoke. I smoke. But some of them things that we do, including those two things, can put us in a position to where we're just not doing too well later on, man. Just not doing well. It's not deeper than that. And so try to make sure that you're doing well in life if you're young, or even if you're our age, my age, a little older too. I don't think there's anything that we can't undo if we're intent on it. I just think it's those who choose not to be intent on it, telling a lot of people that they can't do it. You can do it. So that's what I want to say, man. Don't allow those who believe they can't do it tell you that you're too old to do it. No, I don't believe that. Also, you know, just always know that you got friends in high places. It's like my mother told me what she was saying. Hello, buddy. Hey, go another friend of mine. Hey, hello, hi. What up, buddy? Respect. He seemed excited to see me. What up, buddy? Good energy. All right. So anyway, I always respect their space too. They get excited because they don't know you, but they don't recognize the energy. They pick up on it rather quickly, especially if you keep walking. You know, there are dogs out here that will bite you. Don't get it twisted. That's why I try to respect them when they're straight. But at just at any rate, as I was continuing to speak, I just want people to understand that my mindset is to just continue to be positive, continue to work against the conditioning of my mind that ain't no good, continue to speak highly of, you know, all of the different things that the Lord put in my heart to say, and just overall not worry too much about the troubles of today. You feel me? That's really what it comes down to. Don't worry too much. Never worry. That's what I always say. Never worry. You may have some circumstances in front of you, and you also have some solutions in front of you. Or maybe the solutions may not be there, but then your ability to put it in prayer to ask for those solutions is possible. You know, even if you got to do it in your head while you're silent, there are ways for you to connect with something that's going to calm you down and give you the best possible way forward in the situation. So that's what's on my heart to tell everybody. Keep calm as best you can when it gets crazy, just like I said earlier. I don't walk so far, man. I don't even know how far I've walked, but I feel great. These are spaces that I only go as far in when I drive, but I just don't care right now, man. I'm telling y'all, I'm fearless when it comes to just what I'm doing right now. You know, there's never been a situation. The fortunate thing about my life is there's never been a situation that was fight or flight where I didn't prove to myself that I can handle what was in front of me. No matter how fearful I allow myself to get, at the end of the day, God has always been right there to pick me up. And I've prayed through every dark situation I've ever been through. And I've been through darker situations than this. Honestly, I have. I've been more attached to different things that I had to let go of. I've been in more pain physically, mentally, and emotionally. I've been through a lot more than what the situation has given me. This is a different one and a rather dangerous one. But it's not the one. You know what it's not the one that you say, okay, this is the defining trial of my life. No, friends, I hate to say it, but I've been through so much worse than this. Now, can it get worse from here? Of course, no question. But can it get better from here? Of course, no no question. Because I've already seen him work in that way, y'all. I've already seen him work. He done did so many different things in that vein to save me, save people around me. There's no reason, absolutely no reason for a person to be in a tough spot, believe in God like I do, and not be able to just, put one foot in front of the other and keep pushing. I don't care what it is. And you best believe, even if I'm in spaces I got no business being in, he's gonna do something with me that allow me to be useful in those spaces. I know it. Especially if I'm staying close to him, and especially if my intentions is to honor him in the process. He's gonna put me where he wants me to be and get the most out of me. I'm telling y'all, I would not feel this way. I would not be walking down the street feeling as good as I do if God didn't suggest certain things to me. I am certain that my body should not be in this type of shape. I am certain, based on some of the stuff that's happened with my allergies and the various food situations, I'm certain that it's not, that I can't condition myself for what's new, or that I can't overcome what's next. Never that will I feel that way. Never will I feel that way. And so that's what I want to tell you guys. Don't feel that way. If you feel like you're facing something that's a little too dark, or it's maybe the second worst thing you ever been through, not the first, understand that you never put yourself in a position to not be able to. You can do it. Any situation you're going through, whatever it is, there's a space for you to find your peace. And it's in your heart, in your mind. You know what I mean? It's in a higher power, I believe. So I keep that up. I keep telling y'all, he ain't letting me stop talking about it. He hasn't allowed me to stop talking about it. That's really what it is in my spirit. The circumstances at hand is just always going to be him. Maybe it's a byproduct of the mentality, right? But even so, it feels like a positive way to handle it. It's like a very positive way to handle it. And so that's what I just try to do. I ask for forgiveness to those who don't really want to be preached to. I've done that more than once, and I'll do it again, because this is not what everybody wants to hear. But at the same time, you got to do what comforts you if necessary. You got to do what gives you the most peace and clarity. And for people like me, raised by the folks like I was raised by, you're going to turn to God, man. You're going to turn to God. You're going to not look for problems if you're doing what you believe you should. You're not going to look for ways to even risk yourself having certain situations unless it's God telling you that it's okay for you to do so within that space of prayer. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm trying to condition myself that way without the influence of others telling me I got to do something else. Because there are circumstances where that does end up the case. People influence you. They just pull you away from that. But I guess the Lord didn't want that to be my path at this point. And because of it, I feel obligated, or rather encouraged, to keep this going. Keep it going like this, rather than to change what I'm doing for the influence of other circumstances or others' opinions. It doesn't come to me that way, And so I just feel appreciative of the freedom that the Lord has given me to be independent of certain things like gangs and certain types of situations that a lot of my brothers and sisters are not afforded an opportunity to be outside of, or even know of a way to not be a part of, or care to, find another way if necessary. And it's cool, because if you love your friends, you love your people, then what's better than being with them? But at the end of the day, it gets tricky out here, man. Tricky. That's the part I say. That's why I tell people not to join nothing that you're not already a part of, because it gets really tricky. It's not as simple as you being willing to be a part of certain things. Hey, there's a whole agenda to throw people in jail. And we've talked about that before. But, they RICO charges, they trying to rope people up forever. And that, I don't think, is something that they're going to stop in the other side of the country doing. It's a model that works in certain cases. And they're going to try to bring it out west. I'm telling you guys. I know this. I know it in my soul. They want the gangs out here. That's what they want. They're trying it in Atlanta. They're trying New York. They're going to try to venture to Chicago too. I know it. But they want to bring that to where the hub is. I know it. And so that's why I've said this more than once in this camera. I just want people to be very careful, man. When you get down with your affiliations, it ain't as simple as your ops, man. They want you in jail, like for real. And they want to give you 100 years just for knowing people. That's it. That's God's honest truth. So I ask that all of my friends and family, forgive me for speaking on stuff I don't know about. A lot of people don't know why I would speak on stuff like this. But it's because I care, man. It's because I look like a lot of these people that be in these situations. Because I feel the spirit of God in me that I know goes through them too. And so when I say that there's value to a brown and black life, there's a value to an Asian life in a gang, or anybody that's in these streets, I know this. I've known people who were walking those lives who showed me what they had in them. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't got to go too far. So I just want people to know sometimes you get trapped in stuff. Maybe the cultures they in ain't no good, but there's good people who need to be outside of bad culture, who need to be taught another way, who need to be shown how to overcome and still maintain the balance of keeping true to the people they love. Because you can. There's a way for all of us to stay free. And that's what I'm speaking to. Not getting away from your loved ones, not putting down what matters most, but staying outside of the cages that are put in place for you to be in. I don't want no human beings in cages they don't deserve to be in just because they knew somebody or they was in a family of people who lived a certain way and were guarding against certain things that I don't need to speak on nor know about. But y'all gotta know that not every black dude is either in a gang or trying his best not to reach people who are in a gang. It ain't like that. You can care about people who are in spaces that you are not in. You can care about people who are in circumstances that you are not a part of. It is literally okay to do that. Because if you do, great things come back to the people that you love and you. I know it. I know it. That's why I'm able to speak the way I am about people that they tell you are bad people, because I've been shown it by them, by people in those circumstances. Multiple ones from different hoods. Show me just warmth, warring hoods come together by way of myself, not necessarily, but I'm just saying, like, they come to me, good person, walk away, same opposite person come to me, good person, walk away. It's like if they could just see what I see in them, have the culture that would make them opposite men, just kind of sit aside somewhere, I think we would all get along together. Maybe it would help if I'm in the room, but that's the point, man. I know politics is crazy. LA politics swallow people up whole. It's one of the things that I'm most concerned about in regards to my situation. Not necessarily how I'm going to make it, but what it takes to. What it takes to. And that's what it is. I'm trying to find that without going down dark roads, and where it takes me mentally is to speak it in favor of people that I don't know who may need to not be entrapped by way of the people they know. So that's where my head is. I know that it's not as simple as that. There's a lot of things that, like I said yesterday, they're trying to clean up these streets. It's not easy when you're dealing with wolves. You don't want to reach your arms out like you're trying to hug them. We already said that, but at the same time, it's like some of them people who are doing this, they don't understand some of the stuff I just explained. They don't see the pain that they're going to tumble forward by pulling people away from homes, away from houses. And maybe you say they made that choice by doing what they did that ultimately turned out the way it does, and that is fair. But it still leaves these kids without these parents. It still leaves these people that without their loved ones, and it just makes for worse households. It just makes for worse environments. Kids grow up not knowing one way or another. They just want to rob somebody just because they saw somebody else do it, and they all not being raised, And you want to throw all their daddies and further throw them in a cage. It's like, why do you think so many of these people keep popping up doing this? That's one of the many reasons why they keep popping up. It's because of that. It's because the fathers and the mothers are not in place to help this situation. Make it so that they're all getting the environment necessary from within the household that allow them to have just a full family structure, as we always talk about. Just a full mom and dad care both about them at the same time and say, yo, I want you not to do this, and I do as well. So that makes all the difference when trying to keep control over the young people, man. Control as it pertains to keeping them from running into walls. So that's what I'm thinking about. I think about youngsters as it pertains to the betterment of what they're going through. Because a lot of times, I don't think people really do. Not unless it can make a buck for them. Not unless it can make them a buck. So that's what I want to speak to when I'm walking around. I'm fortunate enough to be alive. Like I said, I got a chance to walk home. I don't know how to complain about nothing. And I want y'all to think about that when you drive into your homes. When you fly in from wherever you're from. Look how happy I am to have what I have for the last couple of days. I'm going to have it. You know what I'm saying? Feel that and appreciate what you have right now. Feel that and let go of something that you long need to be let go of. Just the same. Some stuff y'all holding on to for fear of pain. That's going to cause you pain too. That's going to cause you pain too. Probably more. Letting go is much easier than holding on to something that is no good. Even if letting go is hard as hell, it's easier than letting go. You know, it's much easier to find yourself without that, is what I'm trying to say. You don't want to be in a space where you're with that circumstance or that person for too long, wasting that one life that you got left. So sometimes it makes sense to stay for the kids. God bless your sacrifice. But I think a kid's always going to be in a happy home if both parents can find a way to get along. But if they don't, it can really make for a traumatic experience at home, and even worse sometimes, as we know. So I speak to that as well, man. Things that I never went through but care about. That's what it's about, empathy. By way of example, I've been shown that, I show it to you. And so, yeah, man, I think good things can happen. I'm open to great things happening, even though I got a long way to go to get myself on my feet. Maybe, it seems, possibly, depends on what happens next. But I think the bottom line is I am on my feet. I'm walking with God as we speak. And so that's what it's about. It's just recognizing what you have, recognizing what's available to you, appreciating what is not, because it's not meant for you. That's a big one. I struggle with that in life a lot. Is this meant for me? Do I want this? Do I want that? No, I don't want any of those things, because it's not from God. If I didn't ask him to bring it to me, if he didn't tell me it's for me, if it doesn't feel right, if it's bad energy attached to it, all these different things, it's not for you. You may feel like it could help your situation, but if it's not going to actually do so permanently, or if it's going to bring you lasting pain permanently, then maybe you should take a different route. Maybe that route that you own ain't the one that you want to be on, even though it has all the bells and whistles to it. You know, so that's why I try to keep an open mind, open heart across the street, because they doing something with the water over there. But you know, I just wanted to continue to say what I was thinking, and I lost that thought. But that's how it goes, man. You know, guard your heart, guard your mind, guard your thoughts was the word that I really wanted to say, because that's one of my dad's favorite things to tell me. When I'd see him, he'd tell me to guard my thoughts, guard your mind. And you know, I think that's what I've been able to do. You know, as I've been saying, my mom told me to walk with God. My dad told me to guard my mind. Turning to God has helped me guard my mind. Look at that, man. Look at that. And so I'll tell you, I'm walking in the steps that the Lord wants me to. He's letting me see these metaphors and these different parallels and all these different things to bring to you guys. And I just look forward to whatever he wants to do in our lives, man. I really look forward to it. I've never seen him fail people who truly believe in him. They may go through some failures, but he won't fail them. That's what I'm here to tell you. They may face failure, but God won't fail them, and we got to be able to know the difference so we don't shun God in the midst of those failures. So that we don't say, God, you didn't give me what's best to have, and as a result, we on the other side of each other, as opposed to you being on my side, helping me through the circumstance necessary. We struggle at times with that, because it's like, if we don't get what we want, God wasn't there. That ain't true. God just knew what came with what you want, and it wasn't for you. Let him continue to guide you after that failure. Let him continue to try to bring you good news after you just got bad news. And be open to that news. Be open if you can, depending on what you're dealing with. It may not be as easy as that. But embrace good news. Did something bad just happen? Okay, but look, Something good about to happen. So let's get through this moment and let's see what happens next. And be consistent as humanly possible on what it is that you need to work on to keep yourself feeling good about yourself. Like I'm trying to do with this content, man. I may not be able to do all I need to do today. I may not even be able to bring myself to do the things that I most want to do. But as I continue to take these walks, I continue to remember what I've been feeling and what I've been telling these cameras. Like, even though you don't feel like you're having the most spiritual day, that's because you're staying with God. You're never walking away. If you're intent like I am right now to turn to Him in these difficult days, you realize you are having a spiritual day. Any day He sparked your mind up, open your eyes, your spirit is alive. If you believe, you have it. A lot of people may not. I don't disrespect nor understand. I'm just telling you what I know within myself as a soul here. And, it's definitely going to need to do work to help itself. At the end of the day, it's work to be done. And I'm psyching myself into wanting to do it. And I think I'm getting somewhere. I really am. I'm getting somewhere with all that I'm trying to accomplish here. So I hope that everybody knows that what I'm doing here ain't in vain. And my God is very much intent on easing my pain and providing me a sane mind to provide myself solutions of many kinds. Not just for the problems that I'm faced with right now, but for whatever is next to go down. And that is the realest thing I can say in this moment, because you never know what comes with what, but you definitely know He's going to be there with you. And now I guess I can get into a prayer, since I really ran out of content in my head. Heavenly Father, I just ask that you be there with everybody who's there, watching me, wherever they may be in this space that they occupy. I ask you put them in a position to be able to receive these words positively, regardless of how they pray or if they do not. Because at the end of the day, this is not an excluding situation. It's an inclusive situation. And we want people to feel the good energy that comes from what we're saying here. I know that every time I do this, I intend to find comfort within myself. But I also know that I may be able to do even more for someone else at a better time, or even a more difficult time for them, rather. So that's what I hope this prayer can do, is provide them the peace and love and the understanding to let themselves do their best, whatever their level of threshold is for their best. May they apply it. May they have the resources and support to give them the best opportunities to get out of the circumstances that are best for them. I ask that you watch over their children and their family, their animals, and everything that matters most, their possessions, their businesses, various circumstances that are in their minds and maybe they haven't spoke on. Maybe it's none of my business. I ask that you be present to whatever level they would wish you would be. Whatever level they wish you would be, I ask you to be present, because I know what you can do. I know what you can do. And so that's what I want to say. I ask that you continue to just watch over the things that are outside of our control. Things that don't have nothing to do with whether or not our ambition is in the right direction or whether or not our peace is in place. Things that just happen at random, etc. I just ask that you protect all of us from what it is that is not meant for us, and give us a complete life, a very complete, full life. That's what I ask for not only myself, but for all of the people in the position to hear what I'm saying. For this long-lasting life. And may we find a way to find you in the presence of that life in purpose, in understanding, in trust, in commitment, in wisdom, in respect for ourselves and others. To the understanding that not only are we looking for acceptance from ourselves, but we're looking for acceptance from you in regards to the favor that we need, the luck, so to speak. We need that. We need that favor. And I believe that because they're in a position to hear me speak of you, that you will give them that. That's what I ask, that you will give them that favor to whatever degree they would appreciate. That's what I'm saying. I'm learning to trust God through some very impossible circumstances, man. And I'm really, really hoping that I don't let nobody down if things go really, really bad. I say hope, and it sounds like I'm speaking without faith. And maybe that's just part of the conditioning of the mind that needs to also go away. But at the end of the day, I want people to know that regardless of where my path is headed, that the example that I'm trying to show can give you an entirely better outcome. If for some reason the Lord has it so that my outcome isn't favorable. I've made choices in my life. A lot of the things I did before I became a BDF 44, maybe the Lord wants me to pay for some of those things. But at the end of the day, you gotta understand, there's nothing that he won't forgive you for if your heart is pure and you know where you stand with him. I promise you that. I promise you that from within a space where faith is must be applied. He will provide you the redemption. He will let you pay your toll. The hell will come your way, but you will have his favor after that, and so will the people that you love. And you will learn to be more unselfish and appreciate that as you go along. That appreciation may not be there right away. Maybe you don't respect no God. You don't know no God, nothing like that. But once you start taking that one first step toward him, that's when you start awakening a new appreciation for what it is he wants to put in your heart. And that, my friends, manifests all kinds of stuff after that. And you'll be thinking and feeling things and doing things that are better for you and others more so than you ever would have before. And you'll appreciate that more than you ever would have before. And you'll forgive yourself for stuff that you can't seem to get over. I promise you that. You will find the redemption you're really looking for. And you can see it in others as you start to seek it. Hear that part. Once you start looking for God, you're going to start finding people that have found it. It's not going to be as hard to take the third step and the fourth step and the fifth step. I promise you this. And you're going to find yourself looking up saying, I've changed better, for the better. I feel like my life means a little more. I feel like my footsteps are a little lighter. My health is a little better. It's a lot. It's a lot that happens when you make that change in that way. And like I said, I'm a Christ guy. But I do not think that the religion that he gave you is a religion he don't want you to follow. I do not believe that. I've prayed about this. I'm telling you, he wants you to go to the faith you know. Look from within this Christian person. Go to the faith you know of. Be open-minded that Christ is real because I know him. Love him because I know him. But love your faith because that faith within you is real. That's what I'm telling you. It's real, man. It will cause you to make good decisions where otherwise there would be no clarity. And probably then some, depending on how you pray and what your religion is. I don't know, but probably then some, but at least that. So I just want people to understand where I'm coming from, because a lot of people are walking in some dark places and they want some saving. They want to feel better. They don't want to be struggling no more and all that. And I'm telling you, it's the way. This is what he put in my heart in these circumstances. It's the way. So I just want people to know I feel so much better right now than I felt probably in about 3 years. Honestly, physically, my skin feels better. My breathing feels better. I don't know what he's doing with me. God, I don't know what he's doing with me. But I can tell you I never felt better physically. Never felt better spiritually in my entire life than I feel in this very moment, because I know that I'm faced with some real stuff, and I know the Lord has put some real stuff in my heart to face it with. And I'm defeating the devil every single time I open my mouth this way. I'm putting a sword in his side and taking something from him every single time I speak this way. And he's taking plenty from all of us. So I want y'all to know why I'm fighting in the form that I am. Using my voice and the positivity of the Holy Spirit in the way that I am. It is because I know what we are up against. It's a different type of spirit he put in me right now. It's warrior energy. Not to say that I'm trying to harm. No, nothing but the enemy. You gotta build. That's how you destroy the enemy. You have to build. Destroying does nothing against the enemy. Building will destroy the enemy, bro. Building. Destruction will do nothing but bring you pain. Destruction will bring you nothing but shame. I promise you. It's a lie that you draw strength from sin. You do not. You do not. And I promise you also Good things happen when you start despising the sin that you engage in. Good things happen when you turn your heart away from some of the stuff that we know deep down we probably should, man. Even if it don't make no sense to do so because everybody around you agrees. If you got a dream or something, not necessarily a dream as in I have a dream, no, but like if you have a vision of what you're doing not being right, that's the Lord telling you to stop that. If you had a dream or a vision or an idea in your heart that say, you know what, this ain't for me, man, something's wrong. It's a spiritual warfare. You have to go along with what the Lord is saying in those situations, because otherwise you may find yourself suiting up with the wrong side. And that ain't limited to the things that you do. It's about your intentions a lot of times. Like I said, people be trapped in circumstances that don't allow for a lot of positivity, but God is there. So if you're coming toward Him, I assure you, He gonna be there. He's gonna be there. And from there, a lot of great things. So I'm about maybe 70 steps away from the house. And I actually don't feel like walking back in the house. But we'll see when I get there. I dodged something that I did not want to step in. That's what I can tell you right now. But yeah, man. Sometimes fortune comes your way in small ways, and that definitely was one of them. Because that was about 4 or 5 different things I could have stepped in, and none of them got stepped in. But I appreciate the favor even in the smallest ways, you know. But yeah, man. All in all, people, just know you're trying to get through some difficult times. Best thing you can do, in my humble opinion, is first turn to God, then look to turn to how you can make yourself useful to somebody else in a positive and respectful and responsible, that's the word, way. Don't give everything away. But if you're feeling a depression, or you're feeling some type of sadness, or you're feeling some type of insecurity, or you're feeling, here's one, ashamed, yeah, that's the one. That's how you cure that. Shame is cured by good deeds. Absolute embarrassment, those energies, that's how you fight them. When people are gracious back to you, that's how you fight that. You embarrassed, it's shameful, all this, how do I overcome being disgraced, all that. It's going to be in your compassion and your willingness to work toward the betterment of others. I don't care if you're the worst of the worst when it comes to that. You gotta try to redeem yourself for what you've done, and this is your way. So we home now, man. Home for a while, but home right now, and that's the point. We appreciate what the Lord give us. We appreciate we got a chance to walk back in this place. We appreciate. I ain't been locked out yet. All these different things. I gotta look over there and make sure I ain't, right? But that's the reality of it, you know. Appreciate just having a place to come back to, because it ain't gonna be like that for long. But that my Lord is giving me that all lifelong helps me understand that I can obtain it again if I lose it. If it's not meant for me to have. Same letters, same ones. If y'all follow me, you know exactly what it's about. But also, BSIS. Got that. That right there is my security license to allow me to go back to work. So, like, I'm telling y'all, God is doing things. I may not necessarily see what He's doing, but I can see that He's doing. And I want you to see it too. How long did I walk? About an hour. About an hour walk. It had to be longer than that, though. It had to be longer than that, because I've been on this camera for an hour, and I was definitely walking for 20 minutes. So, yeah, it's what it is, man. I'm home. That's a temporary thing to say, but it feels good. It feels good to have been able to draw so much strength and attention to the Lord in my situation, to be able to turn to Him and say, I'm going to find you, and through you, we're going to find a way. That's what I'm thinking, man. I found myself walking back and forth this morning, so deeply emotional in regards to just not being able to do anything but listen to my therapy session and just feel sad. Like, not necessarily sad, but just really feel my problems earlier today. And I was praying hard, rocking back and forth, like in the same space like this, back and forth. And I just come to understand that the only thing the Lord was really asking me to do was pace back and forth to calm myself down. That's what He was trying to get me to do. Put my hands behind my back and just pace a little bit. and listen to the positivity that I was giving myself and to you all through the therapy session. And I think from there just came a piece of, you're still on time with the Lord. He's giving you all these different things that you can parlay into real movements, real actions. And the circumstance itself was just the way forward for it. The concern that people have for me reminds me I'm loved and not alone. The situation I'm in has made it so that I'm smoking less and desiring to smoke less because of I'm not even thinking about it. The situation has me thinking about letting go of things, throwing things away that have long needed to be thrown away. That kind of thing. It's like, what am I worried about? There's few things I'm worried about. One, not being able to house this. Not being able to put this somewhere. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure my uncle will probably take it, but I just want to show you guys my mom. That is Barbara Diane, and that is all the other stuff falling to the ground. You can see where my joy comes from. You can see who put all of what it is that you see in me. That person right there. That if you heard anything good in me, if you've taken anything positive from what I've said, it's because that lady loved me unconditionally and let me be myself to grow into this person. By hook or crook, she let me figure me out, and I'm in heck right now. But I think I'm gonna be in a good space because she didn't force me to be like everybody else. She didn't. She let me be myself. She let me know who God was. She gave me all the love and affection she had in her heart and a lot more than that. She gave me something she didn't probably have. She grabbed it from somewhere else. She gave it to me. That's how much comfort she provided me in life. And so when I talk about my mom, say, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? You got to know what she did do. You got to know how much she gave me. You got to know how much she did for other people with me in mind, with her reputation and the love of them in mind. You got to know all the conversations she had, trying to find help for her son, trying to find avenues to get him to get up and get out the house, to go to school, to feel comfortable, to not be so whatever I was, as I described it so vaguely. But whatever the feelings I was going through, she wanted me not to suffer in my life. So I want people to know that. My mom loved me deeply. Still does. You can feel it right now. And what I'm going through in this life, I'm taking her with me. Y'all gotta know that. Wherever I'm at, she gonna be right there spiritually. She's not somebody who ever allowed me to think that my interests weren't the forefront of what she was a part of. But whatever I was thinking, whatever I had going on, she was in agreement as it pertains to the positive things that I was on. She instilled a good deal of confidence in myself and taught me many lessons about how to survive circumstances such as these. And that's why I bring all these lessons to y'all, because she put them in me, not only by way of her teachings, but by way of her prayers that I was able to see her do every night. Laying, before she got in bed, she'd get on her knees and would pray for everybody she loved, including her son, every night. And so I want people to know what's keeping me going, what's giving me the anointed energy that I put into this camera. Why I believe in Christ so strong. It's because the person that I believed in the most believed in God. Simple as that. So that's why I give you what I give you. It's not just religion, it's love. It's love instilled in me by that lady right there. So that's another reason why I know I can walk away from this place in 30 seconds or less, because she was like that. There she was. Never was there a place that she couldn't leave behind if necessary. She taught me that after being in our apartment for 16 years and never looking back when it was time to go. Never looking like she was uncomfortable in a new place. Never looking like she couldn't handle the newness of certain circumstances. And so as I move forward with her DNA in me, I know for a fact that whatever's next, I got that same gene. So that's why I'm here to tell everybody as well how proud I am of my mom. You know what I mean? As we've talked a lot about different things, but the pride that I have that lady is my mom, it doesn't know any end. None. And if you listen to people who knew her, they would pretty much tell you she was one of their favorite people. Most of the people that know my mom speak of my mom even more highly than they would of myself, and it's more than necessary that I agree with that. So that's where I'm at with that, man. You know, I have a lot of friends because of her. A lot of friends. You know, friendships that I ain't cultivate myself, she made true. And so that's what I want to say, man. I am honored to be my mom's son, and hopefully you all can have a good parent. You know, I know that me sitting up here bragging about my mom may not make everybody feel good. Not everybody have good moms, man. But I think what I'm trying to instill in you is that you can become that. If you don't already have that energy in you, you can instill some of these things that I'm telling you that she instilled in me and your children. You know, you can develop a new level of whatever love, or I don't know how to say what it would be, more so than to say whatever would be most best for you. You can increase upon that in regards to your children, in regards to your relationship with God, etc. So that's what I'm thinking, man. I'm very much ready for the Lord to get me out of here. Honestly, if I can be real honest with everybody, I'm ready for this place to be behind me now. Even in this space where I'm waiting for the countdown, I don't know where I'm going to live. That's made it even more so that I don't want to be here. You know what I mean? It's like I walk back in this house and I just say, the only reason why I'm happy I'm here is because I get to lay my head down. I can't do none of the things I want to do anymore in this place. Basically, playlists and all that stuff. You know, it's just not really the time. I got to do other things, obviously, even doing this, etc. But like, it just becomes a point where it's like, it don't feel like home no more. It feels like a place I got to hurry up and get the hell out of. And so I want to. Like, I genuinely want to. And I can't wait to lay my head into a place where that's not the case. Where I can have a brand new clean slate, if the Lord would have it in favor for such a thing to be the case. If not, then I won't have nothing. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for what it is that I want. To not ever have to have so much anxiety about a place that I should have been paying rent at. You know what I mean? Not in that regard. You know, and most importantly, a house. My very own property. That is what I'm praying for. Let's stop this rental stuff. No disrespect to anybody who loves being in rental situations. This might be great, but for myself, property is definitely the way. It always has been. You want your own. So that's what I want to say to somebody, anybody out there. If you're renting, you know, be appreciative, but do think about if it makes sense for you to try to start looking toward getting a home. I think everybody should be able to have their own property that they can leave to their families or what have you. It can be a great source of income as well, as we know. So yeah, think about home ownership if you can, especially if you're my age and you don't have one yet, for sure. So those are thoughts that are on my mind, man. Shout out to B Bronze for reminding me that there are people that she's been sharing the links with, you know what I mean, that are becoming more appreciative of what I'm doing here. And so I want to shout out all of them. Kendra, of course. You know what I mean? Bronze has told me that I have people that really, really like what I do. So I just want to continue to encourage everybody to share these videos. And I think I'm confident to say that because these are things that I really want people to hear, see, not to exalt myself necessarily, just because it's a lot of stuff that I'm saying that I believe in. And so, yeah, share. Do share these things. Do share what the Lord has put in my heart. Even if you don't want to share my image, do share what he's telling you through me. You know, it's all love, man. It's all about building. It ain't about changing who you are necessarily for anything other than the better, you know. So please share this stuff. It ain't nothing to say that I'm thankful for my voice. It is easy to express how appreciative I am that the Lord has given me all of you to speak with. And I don't know what my path is going to be, but I can guarantee you that this has made it so that I am infinitely closer to the Most High than I've ever been. And so that's what I want to say, man. For those who take the time to listen to all of these, who listen to them in fragments, thank you. Thank you for giving me a voice. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching.